Well, hey, it's Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and have us a quick chat about Dr. Wendy Osefo. Let's talk about it. All right, y'all. A few days ago, Dr. Wendy Osefo of Real Housewives of Potomac got a chance to do an interview with the Jasmine brand, okay? I did listen to that interview, jotted down a few things that I want to speak with you guys about, and I have some, a quick little audio clip from that interview as well, so we'll touch on that. So I'll just go ahead and run through some of the things that I captured from this interview that Wendy did with the Jasmine brand. First thing first, she looked gorgeous. I have to give her that. Her makeup looked great, hair looked great, whatever outfit she had on, at least the top looked like it was on point, okay? Miss Wendy looked it good, period, okay? Now, the question came up about how Wendy ended up being in Maryland. And you know that she is an immigrant and that her family came to New York originally. And once her mom actually got a new job, a better paying job out in Maryland, they ended up moving there, relocating, and that's where she's pretty much settled in her entire time being in America. So that's where she has been, okay, in Maryland. Now, she speaks on Gizelle and the dragging that she gave her, okay? Because a lot of people was praising Dr. Wendy for dragging Miss Gizelle, and y'all was the same ones dragging Dr. Wendy last season for her continuing to mention those four degrees, okay? It seems like y'all got tired of hearing about those 4 degrees, but you guys will never, ever get tired of Miss Gizelle being read down, honey, about Jamal, which at some point is going to be old news. So what else will there be to talk about But let's move on, okay? So she says that when it came down to speaking about her attire, all right, that's where everything started, right? They were talking about her attire. She says she would tell them, well, listen, I'm just trying to get back to myself. Y'all know I just had my baby girl not too long ago, so I'm really just getting back to myself. It was in that moment when Ashley approached her shortly thereafter, she started to connect the dots, okay? Of course you connected the dots because Ashley told you what those dots were, okay? Ashley said that the ladies were concerned about whether or not your attire has, and your change, okay, in attire, a change in looks and all of that, according to Ms. Robyn, a change in personality. They had been wondering if the change was brought about based on the rumors that had took place, okay? Wendy says that she connected the dots in that moment, that they were speaking on her attire because of the rumors that were out there. And they thought the rumors had an impact on how she dresses, okay? She also goes on to say that she feels as though that was misogynistic of the ladies to say that, for them to assume that how she dresses has anything to do with a man, okay? I was like, well, I can't disagree with you on that, Miss Wendy girl. I can't, okay? But essentially, she was saying that y'all didn't know me prior to, okay? So y'all didn't really know who I really was to really know who I'm trying to get back to, okay? She says that y'all only knew me for about 4 months last season. They filmed for about 4 months. The ladies got a chance to get to know her within that time frame. But outside of that, when they saw the switch up, they really didn't know her enough to know anything about the switch up. You know what I'm saying? To say, oh, you're changing your character. Oh, you're changing this and that. It sounds like what Wendy was saying was y'all didn't even know me from the beginning to really know what my personality was like, to really know how I truly dressed or anything like that. You guys didn't know. So for you to come out and judge me now, that's not cool because you don't know who I was trying to get back to. I don't think Wendy was trying to get back to the old Wendy. I've never seen any of the attire and, the way she's grown up. I haven't seen that in any previous photos, okay? Because whenever I try to find cute photos of Miss Wendy, it has definitely been a struggle. So I'm so glad she's starting to get more photos that look very nice of her now. But in the past, I'm like, girl, I don't think it was nobody you was trying to get back to. I just think that you saw opportunity to level up. Why not? You got the money, you know what I'm saying? You can do a little bit more now. You're around all these fashionable ladies. You don't want to look a sham on TV. These people may be talking about you as they were, and girl, they're going to continue to talk about you whether you look good or you look bad, girl. That's just what they do. Okay, so I don't think it had, in my opinion, nothing for you to really get back to. I think you was just evolving into somebody completely different, and they just really didn't know how to take you because they wanted you to continue to be in whatever box they already had you in and how they already saw you. So those are my thoughts on that, okay? Wendy was asked about Ashley and whether her intentions were good with bringing the rumor to her. Wendy says that Ashley had just had a baby and she didn't want to dig into her for that, okay? But she did feel as though Gizelle had Ashley doing her dirty work, basically. And I feel like this, no. Ashley honestly did what Ashley wanted to do because that's just how Ashley is, okay? If you've been friends with people on this show, if you've watched this show previously, Ashley is messy as hell. She doesn't really need nobody else. She don't need to do no bidding for nobody else, okay? Ashley want to be messy, she gonna be messy on her own. But what I do appreciate though, Osefo, I appreciate you being honest and confirming that a lot of y'all do not give Ashley that work based off of the simple fact that she has had a child that nobody gives a about, in my opinion. Okay? Ashley messy as hell. Ashley was messy before them children, during the pregnancy, after the pregnancy. That's just how Ashley is. So for y'all to excuse her, even with her knowing that she's already had a child, okay, or children, she still brought the mess to you. So you should have read her motherfucking rights, period. So I'm going to always give Candiace kudos for keeping her foot on Ashley's motherfucking neck, period. And I was like, Wendy, go at Ashley. She's sitting right there next to Gizelle. I would have read Gizelle down, then I would have read Ashley down. Now you read Robyn down because Robyn did include herself in that conversation. Like, what was said about Eddie? And I'll get into that. But you read Robyn down. But Robyn was in the moment trying to figure out, well, what the hell, what's what, you know? But Ashley was the one that brought the drama to you. She brought the mess to you. So I felt like you should have gave Ashley her just due. I don't give a fuck about her having a child and where she is, because when she brought the rumor to you, she didn't care about your children or your husband when she did it. So you should have read her accordingly. But I appreciate you being honest and confirming what I already thought. And a lot of people already thought that y'all give Ashley passes because of these children that she done sat up there and had that nobody gives a fuck about. But we're going to go ahead and move on. Okay. What else happened? Wendy thinks that Gizelle and Ashley had it orchestrated to approach her about this because Ashley wasn't originally invited on this trip. Wendy said that Gizelle invited her on this trip. So how it's looking to Wendy, whether this is what it was or not, how it's looking to Wendy, Wendy is thinking like, okay, so you've been played this. I would probably think the same exact thing. Like, so you playing this. You plan to come up to me and approach me because she wasn't even invited. Then you bring her on the trip. Y'all have a conversation about it. And instead of you being a friend to me, pulling me to the side like you did earlier with Robyn, you send your hound dog out to have a conversation with me. That's not cool. And so for me, as I'm listening to the interview, Wendy, if you truly feel that Ashley and Gizelle orchestrated this, that's even more reason as to why you should have gotten Ashley's ass. Period. Those are my thoughts on that. What else did I want to say? Yeah, I just don't feel like Ashley should be given passes, in my opinion, because she has had children. Because and I say that because I feel like they won't give Wendy a pass. Wendy recently is like, she's like the newest mom on there. I believe one of the mothers that's recently had like a child. Like, of course, she's on her third child, but I think she's the only one outside of Ashley that's given birth, okay, to a child within the past year or two. So I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot, Wendy, if all this drama didn't go down with Candiace and old girl last season, then they would have been on your head and they wouldn't have cared nothing about your child. So why are you extending the grace to Ashley? What is it that Ashley has on y'all that y'all feel like y'all can't be on her head when she's out of line? Okay, so that's that. Let's go ahead and move on. Wendy was asked about whether she knew this rumor would be coming to the forefront. She never gave an answer for that. When the question was asked, she never gave an answer for that. She just went on to whatever the next thing was that the young lady asked. She never gave an answer. Wendy says that her issue was never with the rumor because people are going to talk their crap when they talk it, okay? But she did say that her issue was more so with Gizelle because of the fake concern. I have to agree with Wendy on that. It was fake concern, and I have to go back to you bringing your friend to the side, which is Robyn. You pulled her to the side, you had a conversation with her, but you could not extend that same courtesy to Wendy, even when Wendy walked up on you and Robyn having a conversation. Okay, so I just felt like that was, you know what I'm saying? You wasn't really Wendy's friend for real, and Wendy is starting to see that you really wasn't her friend to begin with. But good luck. Let's go ahead and move on. Wendy was asked about Robyn being clueless. So y'all know Robyn was sitting in the room with everybody else. Nobody else really asked what was going on. They just wanted to watch the drama and then find out later. Robyn decided to chime in and say, what was that about Eddie? What was that about Eddie? And that led Wendy to make Robyn her target as well in that moment. She decided to go in on Miss Robyn. She tells Robyn, don't worry about it. Your best friend to tell you, okay? This is what she said. What else happened? She says, if y'all really want to know some tea, I'll tell y'all this. She says that Robyn was the person to bring the rumor to me to begin with. I didn't know anything about it. She said, Robyn brought it to me. And I refuse to believe Wendy didn't know anything about this rumor, because you've read so much about other people. So if you've read so much stories about your other cast members, I feel like you also already knew about this. But out of everybody, Robyn was probably the only person in the cast to actually bring it to you. So Robyn brought it to her and asked her, like, hey, these people are out here making rumors about us. They're saying all kind of things. Like, is there any way that we could get Eddie to shut this down? Now, Wendy did not elaborate more on that conversation about Eddie shutting, trying to, get this blog shut down or whatever. But she did, say that Robyn was already privy to this information. Now, it could be that Robyn, because everybody already knew these rumors. These rumors had already been out there. So when Robyn asked the question of what was said about Eddie, she could have been thinking in that moment that there was more being said about him that she wasn't privy to, that she had already told Wendy about. Because if she already told Wendy about it, then why would she be mad about it in this moment? So it must have been something new that was said about Eddie. So that's why she was asking what was said about Eddie. But at the same time, I kind of felt like, find out later, girl. Find out later, girl. Let your friend go through whatever she's gonna go through in this moment, and you find out later, just like Candiace and Skylar and Karen and everybody else is gonna have to find out later. Find out later. You didn't have to jump in at that particular moment. Those are my thoughts on that. Yeah, she should have just held out and waited like everybody. So moving on. Wendy is asked about whether she understood where her ex-castmate Monique, whether she knew understood where Monique was coming from when it came down to the issues that she had with Gizelle. Now, this is what Wendy said very carefully, because it seems like she was trying to make sure that she does not agree, in a sense, with Monique, because she didn't flat out say, oh, I agree with Monique. Monique was right. She didn't give her that gift of saying you was right, Monique. But what she said is, I'll say this. She says, now I know what it feels like for people to say malicious rumors that are baseless about your family. So for me, it was like, so you went around the world to give that instead of just agreeing with Monique or saying, yeah, now I see exactly what Monique went through. Yeah, I see, I understand where she was coming from. Monique was right. She didn't give her that. She just said, girl, you're not going to group me in with this lady. I'm still not that fond of her for real. I don't want to be affiliated. So I'm just going to say this, girl. I understand what it feels like for people to put baseless rumors out there about your family. I don't know what was said to be true or not about Monique and her family, girl, because the rumors is out here. But I just know about me. I know what it feels like to have, salacious and malicious rumors put out there about your family, girl, period. So that's where Wendy was coming from. I thought it was interesting. She said, but when it comes down to Monique, no, I have not talked to her. I have not, but I ain't got no issue with her either. So girl, I could leave her or take her. It's not a problem for me. So that's that on that, honey. Let's go ahead and scoot over. Wendy speaks on her friendship with Karen. She says that she and Karen were able to kind of like become really good friends, because in the past, although they have shaded each other, it was never no rah to where it was like no comeback. So when they got an opportunity to have a sit down, which I wish I would have known who was the person that asked for the sit down. I feel like the person that asked for the sit down could have been Karen, and I may have missed that during the show, but I know it wasn't asked on the interview. But I do want to know, like, who was the person that called for the sit down? So either way it goes, they were able to get to a place where they sat down and they sorted things out. They're grown women, and they decided to move on and move forward. And I can't really blame them wholeheartedly for like wanting to move forward. I still stand by the fact that Karen needed a friend. Karen needed a friend. She knew she was on the outs. So what better way than to go and have a sit down with Wendy, which I think was a good thing, because you definitely said some things about this lady last season. You didn't think that she was of Potomac. You did a lot of SHI. Girl, when it came to Miss Wendy. So yeah, you should have called for her to have a sit down with you, and hopefully you apologize for anything that made her feel uneasy during the first season, so that you guys could get to this better place and move forward. So that's that. They wanted to see how things was going to work out with the friendship, and obviously things are going well between Karen and Wendy. Okay, what else happened? Okay, so she was asked about Robyn's relationship being a non-relationship. Wendy says, listen, this is funny to me because she actually got off the subject of Robyn and immediately started talking about Gizelle. Wendy says, if we are going to talk about lives and lies, then let's talk about it, okay? So then she goes on a tangent and she's speaking on Gizelle, okay, regarding the rumor. She's speaking on Gizelle, but she did not answer the question as it pertains to Robyn. So what I think happened in that moment, I don't think that comment was really meant for Robyn. I feel like it probably was meant for Gizelle, but Robyn just happened to be in the fire, and Wendy was just going off, and it's like, well, whichever one of y'all hit dogs want to holler, girl, it's not a problem for me, okay? It's still gonna stand. So what's up? So I don't think that it was meant for Robyn, because when she was sitting on the interview, she didn't divulge more into why she would say that about Robyn's relationship. She went on to talk about Gizelle, her situation with Jamal, and also her issue with deflecting when people are wanting to know more about her relationship. She don't want to talk about that. She want to talk about something completely different. Okay, so that lets me, or at least that has me believing that bullet that Wendy sent was really for Gizelle, but since Robyn wanted to jump in the middle of it, she the one that got hit with it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. She also goes on to speak on her candle line, and she also has a book coming out, but I don't think she's gonna drop it. She kind of talked about those things, but I don't think it's gonna drop until like towards the end of the season. She said it's gonna drop soon, but probably, you know, once everything is over, the season is settled, she may release, unless we're gonna see her do like a book signing or something on the show, and then she may drop it in the middle of the season or whenever, you know, before the season's over. And the same thing with her candle line. So that's that, you know what I'm saying? That's all the interview was about. At least those are all of the notes that I took from the interview. Miss Wendy, like I said, she looked gorgeous. There are some things that I agree with when it comes down to Wendy, and then there are some things that I'm like, girl, say what now? Okay, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts and comments down below. Leave your thoughts and comments regarding everything that I discussed and what you may have captured with the Wendy and the Jasmine brand. Okay, I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.